These were the opening moves of this incredible chess game. With the white pieces here, we've got the world's #1 chess player, Manscaped Cantaloupe. He's playing in Titillating Tuesday, an online weekly chess tournament. His opponent, Jose Jerez with black, and he does not know what hit him in the middle of this game. It's unreal for blitz chess. Let's dive in right now. We get this pawn advancing here, and you can't yet dive in and go for this skewer action here or fork action, because otherwise you get check and the knight drops. So instead we just see e3, now takes, not worrying about the knight jump, or again the queen checks and the pawn is annoying when you block, blah blah blah. So instead just recaptures, bishop g4. This is no time to Botez Gambit. Magnus blocks the way there, captures, queen takes back, and a6 keeps an eye on that knight jump once and for all, and Magnus is like, yo, let's go eat some man flesh. e6 develops that bishop on the king side, and Magnus now picks up the g pawn. Gary the debt collector launched down the board here, knocking at the door. Bishop b4 looks for the counterplay, and after Magnus defends that knight with the queen, so your structure doesn't get shattered, hang on, is the queen not overloaded? We've gone to analysis mode here, board grayed out. Why can't black do this and win a pawn? Threaten this as well. Well, then there's queen g3, and now, whoops, something popped up on my screen. Let me minimize that. When this knight is hit, it drops back here, and yes, you crash through, win the pawn back. This is something how the line could go. Different game. It goes on and on. Right, we're too far off kilter now. We'll head back to where we were. But it's the reason why white can win back the pawn if you go for this. But instead, we see queen a5, given the question mark, as you can see, because now Magnus develops. This one's supporting its brother. This one's now played, and after you put the question to the bishop, not yet, sorry, I'm way ahead of myself, always play king b1. This maneuver now best with the knight headed for c4. This is what I was anticipating though. After knight e7 is played, incorrect. Now Magnus picks up this bishop with a3. It's why the whole black play is just not quite as precise as it should be. Knight recaptures, and this one's sitting like a monster, unopposed, and black just makes things worse. Rook c8 is best. Possibly you hint at an exchange sacrifice one day, but instead we see castle's kingside here, and it walks straight into bishop g5. Magnus didn't find this move. He came up with another good one, but here you're just shattering the pawns. You can't move the knight anywhere, or this one drops behind it. You can't defend this knight in any way, no good, so you're just dropping it off the board. Pawn structure shattered. It's really bad. But Magnus plays this one, also good. Rook e8's therefore responded with, and after g5, kicking this pony backwards, Magnus now plows on down with pawn h4, super aggressive, and after knight f5, this is the moment where we see an epicness just unleashed on the board. What does Magnus do? Well, he doesn't play bishop f4, which looks so natural. Instead, he plays the move of bishop b4, hitting the queen, picking up a tempo. It drops back, but it somehow looks very clumsy. a5's on the way. That's where black wants to attack. Are you going to retreat or something? And then bishop d2, but then knight b6, c4, looks awkward. No, Magnus decides instead to pick up this pony here. Very well done if you saw the idea, and sacrifice it on d5.
No, okay. Everything is clear about this game to me, completely clear.
What is going on? Well, if this one's captured here, this is the point. You simply undermine the defense of that one, win back your piece, and you're a pawn up, advantage white. But what are you doing after this one? Queen c6. Your knight's about to drop now, courtesy of the queen. And if you move the knight, the queen drops. Where is this knight going? Drop back, lose your queen. c4, simply queen takes. Can't go here or here. You take this one here. Can't play a check. You simply capture with one of these pieces. Queen's covered, no issues. How do you fight back against this? Well, this is the moment. Magnus Carlsen decides to unleash absolute fire on the board with this move, and it's at this very moment Vladimir Kramnik's absolutely seen enough. He pulls out this bad boy, the Kramnik scrolls. We've not seen it unfurled in a while, and guess whose name goes directly at the top of the list? Yes, it's Manscaped Cantaloupe himself, very much on the naughty list after this unreal combination is unleashed on the board here. Now, what's the point? Well, the knight is captured. This is what we've got to ask ourselves. Now, what's your follow-up, Magnus? You know, are you taking the queens off? Nope, terrible. Look at Stockfish, poop its pants. Doesn't like that move. So what's your point? Are you going queen g4 or something? Nope, no good. Black just starts attacking you. You're too slow. You know, you can do this. Check. King sidesteps. But this one covers the mate. It's unassailable right now. You know, where's this queen actually headed? What's the plan? You can't take. It's about to drop. Well, this is the follow-up point to the combination. Magnus now plows through the middle with pawn d5. Excellent move, cutting this connection here. Again, you can't take. This knight's dropping. So what's your follow-up move? Queen has to move. Can't take, or rook takes. Well, the best move to play here is queen c4, but it was missed. As you can see, we've gone back to the bat cave. Now, why was this best? Well, you keep an eye on some of these attacking squares here. This is apparently the best follow-up move, knight e5, then the best response. If this is played, then this just gives a quick flavour of the epic attacking ideas using this unassailable bishop, this kind of thing, and that one drops. So what else to play? I don't know. Let's pause it there. You can see black's in a real bind. So we'll come back here. Queen c4 was not played. Very disappointing, almost as disappointing as the fact that Hans Niemann is apparently not going to do the lie detector test that he was due to do as a forfeit for losing to Daniil Dubov. This is what Hans revealed on his YouTube channel today. 18th of March, right? You know, in a video that he just did, felt disrespected by Dubov, so he's not going to do that one. Very disappointing to his chess fans over here, but okay, that's the decision he's taken. But what we saw instead in this game was knight e5, but it just fails. The idea is, if takes here, and black's doing well, you're a piece up. But Magnus doesn't take here. Instead, he smashes through here, saddling black with the old Irish pawns as they're known, and now after this one takes here, relinquishing or recouping the queen rather, you can see that Magnus has restored the material, and after knight takes, he can even go a pawn up if he wants to take on f6 here. But he wants to hold on to this bishop. He likes it, so he drops it back. Not the best, as you can see, but it's still good. That one's a bit of a monster looking down here, and after rook ad8, watch what an absolute beast it now becomes. Because first, Magnus wins the d file, and then black blunders in a huge way by playing pawn h6. And the idea is undermine this one, right? You know, then try and get at the bishop or whatever, get the king out. But there's a great response here. Magnus misses it. Well done if you can find this move. A move to play here is rook h1. And the idea is you take, you get mated. That's brutal. And therefore you can't take, right? So white is going to be crashing through here, and there's very much a nasty thing going on here. You have to start giving up material just to stave off the mate. But Magnus missed this one. They're low on time. Actually, that's a load of rubbish. He's still got 2 minutes, but fine. He's just playing quickly, takes the pawn. All roads lead to Rome is how he's feeling. You could cemento that one now, but he drops back. Now we see f6, but it's a mistake furthermore, because now you can check. And if the king steps in like this, you can check again, x-ray defend the bishop, drive away the king, start running this pawn, you know, this kind of thing. Black's in an awful position. So we didn't see the king step here. We saw this, an exchange. Bishop now takes, and no time to win the pawn, or knight drops. Therefore, this one stumbles back. Pawn covered. Now we see takes, but Magnus simply liquidates down. Great technique, because he's got the extra pawn, and there's nothing black can do to fight against this. He starts running that one. King marches in now. Check. don't take it or you're no longer in the box. You run it through, you make yourself a queen or a knight if you want to draw the game, apparently, but that wasn't played. Instead we see this, but before that pawn can be captured, it's supported, and now this one, this one, this one, this one. And we saw resignation or lost on time here. Why? Well, here's a sample line, right? You can just escort these pawns home. We're going to run it through. This is how the game could have gone, blah, 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 blah. And you land the stalemate right at the end. This is just one way it could have finished, especially if Eric Rosen was playing with black. But let's jump to the final position of the actual game. Really beautiful combo by Magnus in a blitz game. And if you want to see the Hans Niemann versus Daniel Dubov absolute drama blitz game on screen right now, then do check it out, especially in light of this big news. Thanks a lot for watching, and I hope to see you soon. Cheers.